Let's get to it.
And I needed you to know why I came by.
Yeah, I need you to tell us why.
People know I don't go everywhere. I'm not interested in talking to people unless it's like a Larry King or somebody of an amazing ilk that I would actually want to go talk to in real life.
Okay.
I don't do it so I can sell product, and I got things to sell, so let me come talk. You have a great product here, and as a fan base, we love the attention that you spend on the guest. We love how much work you've done, how well you know them, how prepared you are. The same things that we liked about you in football. You brought that on over to here, and that's why it resonates. And the reason
I will say that I hate to say this. I haven't checked out Undisputed or First Take for that matter. I don't check any of those. I'll check out Cameron's Come Talk to Me. It is what it is with Mace, and that's just because those dudes is funny as hell. Shout out to Black Silver. I'm gonna read that super chat in a minute. But I will say that Shannon Sharpe, in hindsight, he made a great decision in going out on his own and betting on himself. When you that good and you got confidence in yourself, and I'm no Shannon Sharpe, obviously, but I think that I do the same thing. I'm always willing to bet on me, and I'm always willing to bet that I'm better than you when I'm doing what I do, and that you're not going to beat me. And that's why any platform that I've left, anything that I decided that I didn't want to do anymore, they very rarely are any better. They better off without me. Never are they better off without me. I think Shannon Sharpe made the perfect decision to go off on his own and take Club Shay Shay with him instead of trying to, stay there and take the bag for whatever kind of bag that they was offering on Undisputed. I think Katt Williams is absolutely right on that.
The reason I had to come is because you've made a safe place for the truth to be told. You know what I mean?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I have watched all of these lowbrow comedians come here and disrespect you in your face. And
I will say that I have not watched any of this except for the couple of minute clips that he put out.
tell you straight up lies. I'm talking about things that have never been heard in all of Black Hollywood. They feel comfortable sitting here and lying to you about it.
You gonna set the record straight?
Are you kidding me? You let Ricky Smiley sit here and you said out that mouth, you stole Friday After Next, the one I was in. I wish all of America fumbled a bit when that happened. And then he said some stuff that we haven't heard in 100 years in Hollywood. You ain't say nothing. This man told you he had Katt Williams' role. He was gonna be Money Mike.
Wait.
And Katt Williams was gonna be the Santa Claus. Now three quick points. You mean in Hollywood?
Did Ricky Smiley say that? I didn't even know that Ricky Smiley did an interview on Shannon Sharpe. Okay, let's just go through it. Let's see what he got to say.
They cast a 5'5" black Santa Claus that weigh 145 pounds. That's your story. Your story is the Ricky Smiley that couldn't even do curse words because he had a Christian fan base. He was gonna play the pimp. Why you didn't ask him why has he played a woman in more movies than he's played a man?
Well, I didn't know
he shouldn't be able. You wouldn't let a athlete that been on steroids talk about one of the greats. Ricky Smiley can't act because Ricky Smiley can't act. He told you the story about when the movie came out. Where did he say he watched it? At home. He wasn't even at the premiere. You telling this man, you stole that. Oh, so he could get his name in the same sentence with a great one. It is sad. He was just that bitter when we were shooting it. He told everybody, it should have been my role. Everybody on the scene. Why do you think no cast member has ever said anything?
He couldn't have played that role like you. I thought he was...
Sir, no one... Why no... He was with KD? He beat up Terry Crews? Why nobody know this story? You talking about in Hollywood, they switched off roles. You take this and he... What? So Ricky Smiley knows this. It's because, well, why would he lie? I don't know why liars lie. But I can tell you this. We auditioned in Los Angeles.
Yes.
I was audition number 201. 200 black comedians auditioned for the role of Money Mike with me. You're saying all 201 of us was auditioning and you had already had the role and had already shot the role in 4 days? The truth of the matter is, the Money Mike in the original script got raped in the bathroom, and that's what Ricky Smiley was okay with.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I know a lot of people always say that it's just acting. It's just acting. They just acting. Man, listen. It's certain stuff that you just can't pay me to do. You're not going to pay me to worship the devil. You're not going to pay me to kiss a man or to bend over. And you're not going to pay me to be able to put on a dress. All three are a no-go. As grown men, I don't, listen, maybe your mama, you was raised by a single mama and she was okay with you putting on a dress. That ain't your fault. When you become a grown man and you have the ability to say yes and no, and you put on a dress in a film, I'm sorry, I just can't. I can't. As much as I respect Tyler Perry's business acumen, I cannot, I will not, and I just do not rock with the idea of a man putting on a dress on a screen and acting like a woman. Again, I respect y'all business acumen. I just can't. I just don't see you the same way when you decide that you want to put on a dress on screen. I just can't do it.
Katt Williams had to take the risk in front of the studios and the cast and our powers that be in his very first movie and say respectfully, humbly, guys, if we're talking about anything else, I have no credibility and I have no pull. But we're talking about comedy,
right,
where I have all the credibility and all the pull. The problem with Friday After Next is we're trying to make a classic comedy. And this comedy involves a rape. And rape is never funny, no matter who it happens to or what the circumstances are.
That's a fact.
If you would allow me to allow us to do this movie without a black man getting raped in it, I promise you that it will be twice as funny as it would be with him getting raped.
Yeah, it's a scene that I don't remember what that movie is, but his name is DeAndre something or something like that, right? And he played a scene in a movie. Oh man, I forgot what it was, where he was the bunkie of a white guy. And the white guy like made him suck his dick and he would rape him in the movie or whatever. I don't know if y'all familiar with it. If anybody in the chat can tell me what the name of that movie is, let me know in the chat. And maybe I can pull it up or whatever. But it's a scene, and I seen that scene in that movie, and I forgot what the name of that movie was. And Lockdown. That's the name of the movie. It was called, shout out to Blake Fields. I love the chat. That's why chat lives matter. It was called Lockdown. You absolutely positively right. And guess what? The dude is like supposed to be like more of a gangster type of dude, right? And when I seen that, I'm going to just be honest with you. When I seen that, it just didn't make sense. It did not make sense. Like when I seen it, I just couldn't. Like I never, ever, no matter how gangster the dude was, lockdown scene. No matter how gangster the dude was or anything like that, I never, ever, ever was able to make sense of that. I'm gonna put it up here. A lot of people are not familiar with it. DeAndre Bonds, that's his name. Shout out to Fresh One. And I just never was able to make sense of that scene. I mean, never make sense of, like, I never looked at him the same ever again because it didn't resonate with me. I just couldn't make sense of it. That is very difficult for you to ever sell me. Is no amount of money, is no amount of equity, is no nothing. The wood. Shout out to the chat. The wood is no amount of money that you can pay me to ever play that part. Because you never ever gonna be looked at the same. Nobody can look at you the same after playing that type of part.
So considering that's the real story, why would you bring up that story? 35 members of the cast and crew have never brought up that Ricky Smiley was gonna play Money Mike. No one ever saw me put on a Santa Claus suit. We got a wardrobe department. They made a Santa Claus suit for me. Why that wasn't in the bloopers? Why? And here's the other thing. Everything that Money Mike said, Katt Williams wrote. So what Ricky Smiley say on his? You can't say my lines, I wrote them. That's how I already know that I'm gonna be funnier than you. What he told everybody was, Katt Williams, don't nobody know who he is. I'm on the radio. I'm with Steve and Said. Everybody know me. That's what he told everybody that would listen to on the set. That's the truth of the matter. He was so egregious, not now, then. He was so egregious that, and Hollywood has never heard this in 100 years. He was so egregious, I put in my contract that I won't work with Ricky Smiley again unless he's in a dress. Now, what was Ricky Smiley's next movie? Was it First Sunday? Did he wear a dress in it? You bet he did. It's in my contract.
Why would you put that in your contract, Katt?
That's where he's a believable actor.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. This dude has no fear. He has no fear whatsoever. And him talking like this. Honey, you okay? What's going on in there? What's going on in there? Honey, what's going on in there? What did you drop? What did you drop? Gotta check on this chick. All you hear is talking about she dropped some perfume.
Him and Tyler Perry can't play a man to save their life. They play good women, and I believe that the best actor should be in the best role.
So that's why, because when we released that clip and he said that, you responded because he said he was supposed to play Money Mike and you were supposed to play Santa Claus.
An outright lie.
So
that he knows is a lie.
So why would he say it?
Because he's a liar. Nobody knows why liars lie. And that's why I had to come on the program. Cedric did the same thing. Cedric told you when you asked him, did you steal Katt Williams' joke? Yeah. He said, it don't line up. How it don't line up that I did it on TV in 2018? You came to see me at the Comedy Store do it in 2019 and then did it on the Kings of Comedy. Like, what doesn't line up? This is a televised joke that Mark Curry helped me punch up and get to the level that it was.
What joke did he steal? That's what I'm trying to figure out. What joke did Cedric the Entertainer steal from Katt Williams?
Same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business, and it's a man unit.
Oh, I will say that Steve Harvey got the most out of that hair. Steve Harvey got the most out of that hair. That's a fact, though. Oh, man, no. Hey, people used to think like that hair was tight. I will say that when he was doing it, it flew. Everybody was rolling with it, but man, let me tell you, the internet is forever. The internet is forever. Yo, Steve Harvey was the first one with the original man unit. At least he got rid of it. He ain't hold on to it.
Then you ask it, why you not a movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star. This the same Negro that hated on Bernie with this same thing. I didn't want to be a movie star. No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good over KB and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You would have to have range. I played a lot of characters, 60 movie roles. I'm not playing Katt Williams in there.
I don't know, Katt. We might not let you drink anymore the way you. I mean, we ain't even got.
I'm not fueled by alcohol. I've had a sip, less than you.
Jesus Christ.
The truth don't need motivation. I'm just saying I can't let these dudes lie. Cedric's sitting here telling you why he ain't a movie star. He over here look like a walrus. You didn't say nothing.
Jesus. Boy, this man. Oh, man. Listen, you got to leave people alone. I don't.
You why he ain't a movie star. He over here look like a walrus. You didn't say nothing. He can't even get his arms off his stomach sitting over here. Why I'm not a movie star. What?
It's a situation.
He never wrote anything. Remember, when Cedric the Entertainer starts, he's supposed to be singing, dancing, and telling jokes. That's why he's called the Entertainer.
Right.
We found out he can't sing, can't dance, and doesn't write jokes. He did 4 comedy specials. They're so bad, Shannon, they're not available on Netflix or Tubi. Can I say that again for the audience? They're so bad that they're not available on Netflix or Tubi.
You don't think Sam's a good?
I used to think, no, hold on. I don't know anything about this. I'm learning about all of this at the time. Y'all telling me that Cedric the Entertainer is not funny or he can't write? Look, Cedric the Entertainer, I discovered Cedric the Entertainer on Comic View. Now, a lot of y'all may be too young to know what Comic View was, but some of y'all might be too young to know what Comic View was. But Cedric the Entertainer was legendary on Comic View. Now, I don't know anything about no joke stealing. He's saying that he stole a joke or something like that. So I guess we'll get to that part or something but whatever. But when Cedric the Entertainer, he was one of the funniest people. I used to love listening to Ced the Entertainer on Comic View. He was hilarious. Now I don't think I've ever seen him on a stand-up. I seen him at the Kings of Comedy. Bernie Mac was actually the dude that was the best at the Kings of Comedy, but that's it. Everything else, I used to love seeing Cedric the Entertainer on Comic View though. So
A good comedian?
The world doesn't think that, sir. I have 12 comedy specials. He has 4 specials that are not available on Netflix or Tubi.
It seems to me, Katt, that you had a lot to get off your chest.
No.
You wanted to set the record straight.
Winners are not allowed to allow losers to rewrite history. I don't say any of these things if my name is not breached by these people on your platform.
no, Sky, you are wrong. Cedric the Entertainer was funny on Comic View. Cedric the Entertainer was hilarious on Comic View. As far as I can remember. We used to be cracking up. It used to be Comic View, and then right after that, it was BET Uncut. And that's when we started seeing Nelly was swiping a credit card and Ludacris was listen, that was a different time. It was good times back then.
If you give a liar a platform to lie, then I'm not being messy by saying, hold on, that never happened, it's untrue, and there are hundreds of witnesses for each thing I'm saying.
So let me ask you this. What is your relationship with Steve Harvey, Ricky Smiley, and Cedric the Entertainer as you sit here currently?
For 30 years, they're a group. These aren't 3 random guys. The way that Ricky Smiley kept appearing at all of my auditions is because of Steven.
Shout out to Blaze. Let me read some of these super chats. Black Silver says, blessed night, back chasers and all. Shout out to Black Silver. I appreciate you. Let me minimize that a little bit. Blaze Skywalker says, make sure you get to the part where he gives his thoughts about Tory Lane's case. Really? Talked about Tory Lane's case. All right, that's cool. We going off script. We don't really have an objective tonight, so we just kind of kicking it and having a good time. I'm gonna see. I gotta see if Cedric the Entertainer is actually on Netflix. I gotta see myself. He does. He got right here. This is Cedric the Entertainer right here on it's on Netflix. Why y'all say it's not on Netflix? He got a special right here on Netflix. This is special right here. It says live from the Ville. All right, so that was wrong. He was wrong about that. Cedric the Entertainer has a special on Netflix, and it says live from the Ville. I don't know why he said that he don't have no specials on Netflix. He got a special right there on Netflix. I don't know. Maybe he just off. I never seen that special, I don't think. I'm not sure if I've seen that special, but he definitely got a special on Netflix. But come on, let's continue.
Said he would tell anybody that, listen, they got a gang on that side. They know what it is. They know who the gang is. Why Earthquake not in movies? Because he's illiterate. He can't read. And they found that out when they gave him a show and put the cards in front of him. Like, all of these dudes are co-entwined and they share secrets. And this is the age of truth. And the truth doesn't need to be scared of the fact that people tell lies. Katt's on drugs. Where are the stories? Why is there no story of anybody who ever sold a drug to me, did a drug with me, was around me when I was inebriated? I got 5 daughters. I got 5 sons. Why would we tell these ridiculous stories? Because it's competition. You feel like, well, why comedy guys can't just get along?
Yes.
Why didn't you get along with the other teams you were competing against? If you're a Denver Bronco, why you don't get along with the Cowboys? Something wrong with you?
But I don't disagree.
No, Melanin Goddess. No, I seen that on Netflix. I never watched it before, but I seen it on Netflix before. They didn't just upload it. You can't just tell Netflix to upload your stuff because Katt Williams has dropped a special. That's not how it works. It's not like Tubi. You don't control your own content on Netflix. Netflix controls your content. So it was there prior to him doing it. Shout out to J-Dub. J-Dub said just dropping something a little in the plate. Thank you, J-Dub. I appreciate you. While we go off script on this channel. I don't think that he's lying, Sky. I don't think that he's lying. I think he probably just didn't know that Cedric the Entertainer actually had a Netflix special on Netflix. So, yeah, I mean, he does. He has a Netflix special on Netflix. Like, that's not true. And I'm not saying that he don't know, or he just didn't know. I'm not saying that he's lying, but he probably just didn't know, right? Yeah, Lorenzo, it's been on there for like 2 years. It's been on there for a while. Like, I've seen it before. I didn't know that Earthquake couldn't read, though. But here's my thing. I'm wondering why Katt Williams are going at all of these people. Because I don't remember any of these people actually going at Katt Williams. Now, if Katt Williams is saying that, well, Cedric the Entertainer stole my joke, then that's a whole nother ball game. You got to axe the grind with that guy. But I didn't see Earthquake say anything about him. I didn't actually see Ricky Smiley on Shannon Sharpe platform, so I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about Steve Harvey versus Katt Williams. I do remember when they had a Steve Harvey versus Katt Williams in Detroit, but I heard that he gonna get to that in this too. But let me continue to see this.
All the Cowboys. Katt, damn, you like this?
That's not.
Okay, what comedians do you like?
Did you play against the team?
Yes.
I've taken 46 comedians with me on the road. 46.
Okay.
I'm not the comedian you can give that to. I only put on comedians that are funnier than me. Anybody that ever told you differently was a fat Faison liar. There's nobody like me in the business.
Faison just caught a straight.
Faison said that getting a Netflix special is easy. I have 12 specials. Guess how many Faison got? Zero.
So it
Why
can't be
is
that
he
easy.
I agree 100% with that because I don't like Faison Love. I think that Faison Love is the biggest hater ever. I think that Faison Love, let me open some of these bills while I'm at it. Faison Love is one of the biggest haters that I've ever seen. Faison Love is hating on Country Wayne for no reason. Faison Love is hating on Country Wayne for no reason. And I heard, and he was hating on Charleston White. I just did a review on that the other day. He was hating on Country Wayne because Country Wayne getting more money than him, and all he keep doing is going on Vlad and going on these other platforms or whatever that ultimately just call him out and say, "Hey man, you know what I'm saying? What do you think about this? What do you think about that?" It ain't nothing going to do interviews or going on Vlad or nothing, but don't come on there and start hating on other people that's doing it better than you. I can't stand Faison Love. He's like, in my opinion, he's not even funny. He's one of the worst comedians that there is. So I'm glad that Faison Love caught a stray. Blaze Skywalker says they can act back then as a group. I remember when it went down, Steve Harvey was leading the BS. Leading what BS though, Blaze Walker? What BS was he leading? What did Steve Harvey do? Thank you for the super chat. What did Steve Harvey do that was leading the pack? Now, I know Kevin Hart, he's one of the biggest advocates for being in a group setting, right? So, like, I know that him, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Eddie Murphy, they all support each other. Like, they are heavy. Like, they believe in supporting each other. And I remember that Mike Epps and Kevin Hart was going back and forth. And Kevin Hart was like, yo, I don't have no beef with Mike Epps. Why they mad at him? But I also remember that people was hating on Kevin Hart because he was becoming incredibly successful. And he had all of these different roles and he was working his butt off and he was grinding every single day. And he was one of the most successful comedians. He was doing movies with The Rock and all of that. And it's just because he worked his butt off. And so I'm a big fan. I'm a huge fan of Kevin Hart. And it doesn't mean that he's the funniest comedian, but I think that he understands his role. He works hard. He put his friends on. And he going to get to the bag. Now, I don't know what beef that Katt Williams would have with Kevin Hart, but I guess we're going to find out, huh?
Allowed to have conversations about real stand-up people. We do not let people who are on the juice discuss real athletes. That's all. As a journalist. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't harbor any
Hold on, I'm going to keep playing it. Yakar says, Katt said D.L. Hughley is a real one. I think that D.L. Hughley is the fakest one. I can't stand D.L. Hughley. And I think that it's not based off of his comedic chops, but it's based off of his real life takes. I don't like the fact that he was supporting Black Lives Matters. I don't like the fact that he's kind of a feminist. I actually supported D.L. Hughley in the whole confrontation, and I was on his side when it was between him and Monique. Now, I think that Monique is a hack. But I think that D.L. Hughley is corny for his takes, especially when he supposedly stand for Black Lives Matter and always supporting Black community. But every time I see him, he be on Vlad TV. Ain't nothing wrong with Vlad TV, but don't talk that black stuff to me. And then the only platform that you appear on is Vlad. And you always talking about this Black Lives Matters and this racism, and he's enabling people to go into Victim Olympics. I'm not a fan of D.L. Hughley, the radio personality. I am a fan of D.L. Hughley, the comedian. And I'm not a fan of D.L. Hughley, the politician. And I think that Monique is a hack too, but we'll get to that. Blaze says, look up when Katt went off on Steve in his stand-up back then. Years ago, he tells what happens. Yeah, we're going to get to it. Shout out to you. Thank you, Blaze. Thank you for continuing to hold me down, big dog.
resentment to any of these entities because I can't be jealous. I've never seen them have anything that I ever wanted. If you sign up for their program, you get a light-skinned, weird-faced wife that never do an interview.
Oh, man, come on.
Listen, in 20 years, won't do an interview. Nobody's ever talked to her, and she's never been interviewed anywhere. And now, understand, I'm not talking about one person. What I just told you applies to 7 people. How they all end up with that. That's part of what you get. I came in this business saying I was going to expose. When I talked about Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they canceled me for these things because why would you talk about another black dude? Race is not where the line is drawn.
Agreed.
It's God's side and the other side.
I agree 120,000%. I agree 120,000%. And see, all of these blackity blacks, now they're going to switch over to Katt Williams' side. But in reality, everybody is aligned. And see, when I say it, I say I don't align with myself based off of race. Now, if you black and you a good person, I rock with you. If you white and you a good person, I rock with you. But I don't align myself with people based off of race. I 120,000% agree with Katt Williams with that statement.
And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up
Pause.
for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
Why did TD Jakes catch a stray? I don't understand why TD Jakes just caught a stray. Anybody could be accused of anything. I just don't believe in saying something about somebody just because it's popular to say it. But we'll continue. I'm going to read y'all super chat shortly. Shout out to y'all for holding me down.
The truth is the light.
I need to have another one of these.
Amen, amen.
Shit. I kind of get on it.
Noble Hotep says, I'm with Katt Williams, 10 toes down, and I respect two truth tellers. Come on, man. Listen, we got to be objective. It's some stuff that he may say that I agree with, and it's some stuff that he say that I may not agree with. Listen, y'all been rocking with me, and y'all rock with me hard. Say TD Jakes was allegedly at a Diddy party. So what does that mean? I done been at parties with people that probably turned out to be criminals too. That don't mean that I'm a criminal, and that didn't even mean that I knew that he was a criminal and that he was doing what he was doing when I went to their party. That don't mean nothing. I don't care if you was at a party. Jesus Christ. Y'all just like gossip. Y'all just like little girls, man. Unless I have, what's the difference between y'all supporting a rumor and women accusing men of something that they didn't do based off of believe all women? Y'all only believe half of this stuff because y'all don't like the person that they saying it about. And unless evidence come up to the contrary, how are y'all any different than these modern women that just accuse guys of stuff in order to come up off of a bag for them? Unless you got evidence, unless you got a video, unless you know something and you got something else, or is somebody accusing them and they saying or they seen something or it's a video of it, I'm not just going to automatically believe something that somebody say because that's corny. That's the same thing that we advocate against. It don't matter if I like the person or not. I don't like D.L. Hughley, but I did not like the fact that Monique tried to accuse him and come after his family. And so I'm objective enough to separate how I feel about D.L. Hughley and what he supports from a political perspective, from his comedy, and also from what it is that he's being accused of. And so everybody jumped on the bandwagon just because they like Monique, all of them modern women, because they jumped on the bandwagon. And it was Monique versus D.L. Hughley, and people picked a side. But I don't just automatically go with something just because somebody make it up as a rumor. You can't just say, well, I'm going with it because I respect the truth tellers. How do you know it's the truth? Maybe they're misinformed, or unless they give us more information, all we can go off of is what people allege. You can't just automatically say something about somebody and just roll with it. Because just because you believe it don't mean that it's the truth. Come on, man. Come on, man. Grow up, y'all. Grow a pair of balls and think for yourself and stop being a part of the woke gang. Make an informed decision. That's why y'all keep getting finessed to vote the way y'all do.
Yeah.
Right.
No, TD Jakes was staring down at that rainbow cop when he was dancing in front of him. What the fuck you talking about? Like, that don't mean nothing. Man, y'all dumb, man.
For that, I don't really kind of know where to go. Let me, one more time.
Right.
We good now?
Because the people want to know, well, why would he get blackballed?
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
because
gonna
So
ask.
the young boy suing him is false? Yes, motherfucker. Anybody can file a lawsuit. Literally, anybody can file a lawsuit. That does not mean that it's true. Anybody. It was over 2,500 lawsuits that was filed as far as the Adult Survivors Act. You think that all of them hoes is telling the truth? Man, snap out of that shit, bro.
because in 30 years I've done nothing but collect information, knowledge, and your secrets. So if you and a man was in a corner doing something you wasn't supposed to be doing,
You will tell it.
no, somebody come to tell me.
Okay.
I gather that. I value that. I'll pay for that. Come, tell me. I know so many things I shouldn't know, and they all know it. They all know it. Why? Because you don't make me the villain. Not the guy that raises black children and ain't never done a hard drug in his life and don't have no stories of doing nobody dirty. And they'll just go out and they'll lie. The industry doesn't mess with Katt because he didn't show up for the studio. No studios have ever said that. Look at my IMDb. It will show you that no studio has ever lost money with me on the script. How? That's why I'm saying, that's why I can't let Ricky Smiley say he was supposed to play Money Mike. Because I wrote the words for Money Mike. I designed the hair for Money Mike. I collaborated with the wardrobe department and made outfits to make sure that no one in America would be wearing what Money Mike was wearing. I told them to go get the Prowler. I then told them to paint it purple. I told them don't have an actor at playing a pimp. We could get an actual pimp, Archbishop Magic Don Juan to play. Like, I did far too much work for somebody to come years later and try to tag along just for their own self-aggrandizement.
Why didn't Cube set the record straight? Terry Crews could have set the record straight. Mike Epps could have set the record straight. Why none of them set the record straight?
That's what you were supposed to ask him when he told you those lies that
But I
no
didn't
one's
know it
ever
was a
heard.
lie.
Right, but he's telling you something no one's ever heard of. Nobody has ever heard, oh, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon was in a movie and somebody said, y'all should switch roles. Like, this is a business.
But that's the thing, Katt. Normally when people are giving you information, I'm thinking I'm hearing it for the first time and they're giving information no one else knows or have ever heard. So I'm taking them at face value.
These are like, this is like Steve Harvey telling people he used to be homeless. That's my story. That's not his story. Steve Harvey wasn't never homeless. When Mark Curry was touring with him 25 years ago, he was making $3,000 a show in cash and doing 5 shows a week. They just tell the stories. Thanks to my wife, I'm where I am. You said that about the first wife. You forget that?
Yeah, Steve Harvey is a simp. I will give him that. I think that Steve Harvey got crazy work ethic, but I think that Steve Harvey is a simp, one of the biggest simps of all time, flat out. Just dropping a little something in the collection plate. Thank you, J Dubs. I appreciate you. LeGarrette says, I think it's some behind the scenes stuff. It's always some behind the scenes stuff. It's behind the scenes stuff. I can tell y'all a whole bunch of stories of behind the scenes stuff that was happening on some of the platforms I used to participate on. Tia said Ricky and Steve all did interviews. Okay, so I never seen Ricky Smiley. I seen some of Steve Harvey's because he was simping. And I never seen Cedric the Entertainer's on Club Shay Shay. Katt went on there to respond to what they said. Did they say anything about Katt Williams? I'm wondering. Tia, did they say anything about Katt Williams? Thank you for the insight. J Ben says Katt playing defense, TD collateral damage, just like names on Epstein list. Kevin Hart came at Katt like how they tried to do Chappelle with the drug rumor. Did Kevin Hart ever mention anything about Katt Williams? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that Katt Williams has a reason to feel the way that he feel. Easy Money says Corey Holcomb has been saying this for years, 5150. Saying what for years? What has he been saying? I don't know how the comedian world work, but I know how the content creation world work, right? And in content creation, there's always going to be people that's jealous. It was people that was jealous of Kevin Samuels, and they came at him and said, yeah, I was supposed to be the next Kevin Samuels because he stole my style and he was dressing like me and all of that. And I'm not saying that that's what Katt Williams is saying, because Katt Williams is incredibly successful in his own right. Nobody can do, in my opinion, what Katt Williams do except for maybe Dave Chappelle on a stand-up stage. Katt Williams is one of the few comedians. Katt Williams, Kevin Hart, and not Steve Harvey. Katt Williams, Kevin Hart, and Dave Chappelle is one of the few comedians that I will pay money to go and see. Now, when it comes to live shows and stuff, I'm very, very careful. I don't just go to concerts anymore. I don't do any of that stuff. I have to really, really like you. The last concert that I went to was Usher. That was incredible. The concert that I really loved before that was, and I've been to a bunch of other concerts too. A lot of the tickets I get for free from like MGM or something like that. Coldplay. I had front row tickets to Coldplay. It was one of the most incredible concerts. It was one of the last concerts at the Palace of Auburn Hills. That was incredible. But you got to really be good in order for me to shell out my money to come and see you. And so I think that Katt Williams is successful in its own right. But I also know that outside of Katt Williams, that there are other people that always want to take credit for your success when it's really just you out working and you actually being likable. But neither here nor there. Let's continue.
Told us it was her, then you went and married somebody else that think like a man. Like, what are you talking about? They think they can rewrite history. Guy Torrey did a beautiful special about the Comedy Store and Fat Tuesday, where he said that Steve and Cedric and Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish came through there and made... All lies. Steve and Cedric never performed at the Comedy Store at all. Tiffany was only seen at the Laugh Factory. In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to L.A. and in his first year in L.A. he had his own sitcom on network television?
Nah. Kevin Hart, from what I'm just reacting to it based off of what Katt Williams is saying. So I don't know. He's the expert in it. He knows more than I do. I'm just giving my humble opinion based off of following the career of Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart used to be working his butt off. And I do remember that Kevin Hart really started catching a wave once he did a stand-up for Shaq. He did like a Shaq's comedy special. And I knew that Kevin Hart was really going up. Like, he did Laugh at My Pain. That was popping. And Kevin Hart used to always scale up his tours. So he would go to the comedy clubs and he would start doing the same set and he would refine it at the theaters. And then eventually he started going into like the bigger venues. And then it started exploding into whole big old arenas. And Kevin Hart would tour all year long. He would work and he was touring. Huh? You went to go see Kevin Hart twice? I seen him once in person. Both shows was packed. Sold the hell out and packed. And I went and seen him at the Fox Theater. And then we both went and seen him at the Fox Theater together. And it was packed. It was popping. That was a great show. Everybody on that show was hitting. And Kevin Hart was funny as fuck. And you went and seen him in Chicago. That was when you went with Stacia, right? Yeah, Kevin Hart was funny as fuck. But I seen him on that Shaq's comedy special with D-Ray Davis. It was like an all-star weekend. It was D-Ray Davis, Kevin Hart. I think Tommy Davidson was on there. And that whole lineup was popping. I was rolling. So Kevin Hart put the work in. I don't know what y'all talking about.
Had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading. No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words. He just did his documentary with Chris Rock where he shows you that his whole upbringing in comedy was on the East Coast.
Yeah, it was.
So how simultaneously was he here in Los Angeles doing the same thing?
I actually read Kevin Hart's book. It was really, really good.
It didn't happen. It didn't happen. And I hate to seem like a petty individual for picking up.
Somebody said, let me redress this. Somebody said, I love Kev's stand-up, and Anton, he's talking about before that, how did he start in full-fledged movies and Netflix specials? The same way that fucking Chris Tucker got started in full-fledged movies before he started doing all of that. The same way that Mike Epps starting in full-fledged movies before he started doing that. The same way that Tommy Davidson was starting in full-fledged movies before he ever went on tour. The same way that Jamie Foxx was starring in full-fledged movies before he ever did it. It's so many different comedians that all of us discovered in a movie before we really started discovering their stand-up specials. And those comedians still can't sell out a stand-up. I seen Pierre doing stuff, and he ain't never been funny. We discovered Faison Love, and Faison Love ain't never been funny, but Faison Love got popping as a big worm inside of Friday. How is it any different from any of these other comedians that y'all discovered before y'all seen them on screen? Most of these comedians that y'all discovered them in the movies. You did not discover them going to a comedy show. Y'all don't even go to shows like that unless they big. How was it any different from every other person outside of what you just said, Eddie Murphy? How was it any different than any? All of the comedians was on Def Comedy Jam, but he said that Kevin Hart wasn't selling out comedy shows. None of these comedians was selling out comedy shows. When did you ever see Faison Love sell out a comedy show? But I seen that motherfucker in not Wedding Crashers, but the movie with Vince Vaughn. He had a couples retreat. He was in couples retreat. There's no reason why Faison Fat Love should have been in couples retreat. There's so many other comedians that could have been in couples retreat. But Fat Love was in couples retreat. How did Faison Love get in couples retreat above everybody else? A huge movie with Vince Vaughn. How was it any different? How was it any different? Almost all of these comedians you discovered in movies first. So why do we then single out Kevin Hart to justify the argument? Why do we single out Kevin Hart? Where did Mike Epps come from before Ice Cube put him in a movie? Where did Chris Tucker come from before Ice Cube put him in a movie? Okay, so he was on Def Comedy Jam. But was he ever selling out shows, though? I mean, listen, if we're going to be objective, and I could be wrong, but I'm going to give my opinion because I'm reviewing it just like everybody else, and I'm old enough to actually remember a lot of this stuff, but I'm not too old to where I'm not really in the know of how things played out because I actually was participating and seeing what was happening out here in these streets. How is it any different? How is it any different?
Part lies, but Jussie Smollett gonna keep lying until you say we don't believe you. Like, it's important in the checks and balances of the universe that liars not get to make complete narratives for themselves.
Are you not afraid about being blackballed again?
As a matter of fact, actually, the first movie I believe that Kevin Hart really got his start in, if we really just want to be transparent, was that Dame and Dash movie. It wasn't even Soul Plane. It was a Dame Dash movie that Kevin Hart got his real first start in. Dame Dash helped put Kevin Hart on. Come on, man. If we want to have a conversation, let's just have a conversation. Dame Dash even said it in the interview. Paper Soldiers, that's the name of the movie. That's the first movie that I ever discovered Kevin Hart in, and it was called Paper Soldiers. And Dame Dash was the one that put Kevin Hart on in a movie. And they said that he did well and he was professional, and that's what started getting him noticed. Dame Dash put Kevin Hart in his first movie. It ain't have shit to do with Soul Plane. Soul Plane came later. Paper Soldiers was the one that Kevin Hart really started getting it popping in. Come on, man. Listen, I love Katt Williams. I think that Katt Williams is one of the funniest people ever. But if we just gonna be real, then let's keep it 100. Let's keep it a stack. Let's keep it a stack. Let's keep it 100. Come on. I know y'all want to hate Kevin Hart so bad. Kevin Hart wasn't the solo person why people went and seen Soul Plane. It was 1,000 comedians, including Snoop Dogg, and Soul Plane. Most of the people went to go see Soul Plane because of Snoop Dogg was in it. Y'all just want to hate Kevin Hart so bad, man. The people want to be against him so bad. They want to tear him down for no reason. Kevin Hart ain't never did nothing to nobody, and people want to tear him down so bad, bro. I can't understand it. I don't know why, but I guess that's just come with the game. It come with the game, bro.
What do you mean again? These people are not powerful. Satan can't create anything. That includes blessings for his people. That's why, you know what the number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
Is to act like it didn't happen. They all do the same job. Why do you think Gary Owen can't cross over and he already white and been in comedy for 25 years? If what I say ain't the case. It's a cabal. It's a consortium. They rock with who they rock with and they don't with who they don't. But I'm not scared of being the competition any more than you were when you lined up across from a superior team. Yeah, on paper, they're a better team.
Right.
They have all the assets and resources and we don't. But let us get on the line, boy, and see if that factors in. I guarantee you it won't.
Wow.
I like Katt Williams' aggression. I like his competition. I love the fact that he's one of the funniest stand-up comedians that I've ever seen in my entire life. I just don't know if 100% of this is 100% true. And I'm not really sure where see, listen, when he called out Cedric the Entertainer and he said, well, listen, Ced stole my joke. I get it. I understand why he may be pissed at that. I don't understand what the beef with Kev is. I don't understand it. I don't understand what the beef is with a lot of these people. I don't know. I just don't get it. But I know that certain people got certain relationships and they draw the line in the sand in certain spaces. So I'm with it. I'm with it. Let's get to it.
Because Shannon Sharpe got to be a different person than that other person.
Absolutely.
And he always was. That doesn't change when I change teams. That remains the same. That's how a legacy is built.
So
all of these shortcut takers, they canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my penis in front of all my people at my age.
Hey, pause. Did he just say he offered to suck his penis? Hey, hard pause on the play. We're not just going to skip past that. Harvey Weinstein offered to give you a... So Harvey Weinstein and his homies buzzed down Holly Berry, and then right after that, he was looking to give you a slob on the knob. Oh, dog. Yeah, that Hollywood is demonic. I don't even want to go over. I don't want to go nowhere. I just want to stay in my little bubble in Detroit with y'all on this live stream, having a good time and reacting to these videos and having differences of opinion. That's all I want to do is have differences of opinion. That's all I want. I don't want no problems, no trouble, no none of that. Just give me my little difference of opinion things, and we can go from there, family.
Agency. What am I supposed to do? He did all of that. I'm thinking I'm the only black person on the script. I get there, it's 3 other black guys on there. Woo. Huh.
So you wonder what they did to get there.
I told him no. What y'all do? And this is why when I walk in a room, heads go down. Behind my back, I'm nothing. I'm just a regular old comedian that's bitter and jealous. But in my face, no. The king has walked in and they have to respect it only because I've not taken the shortcuts. I've not been funded. They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. They tell you that themselves. I can't do that because Steve told you that he stopped doing stand-up because he has 7 TV shows. The only problem is when he stopped stand-up, he didn't have those 7 TV shows. He stopped stand-up because he got in a comedy battle called the Championship of Stand-Up Comedy with one Katt Williams in Detroit in front of 10,000 people and lost because Katt Williams said he was actually bald and that was a wig. And I went in, and that's why he couldn't do stand-up anymore.
That's true. I don't know if that's why Steve Harvey decided that he didn't want to do stand-up anymore, but that is true. No, it's true. It's true that they had like a versus, or they marketed it as a versus. I don't know who the promoters were or whatever, but I remember that it was something in Detroit where Steve Harvey and Kevin and Katt Williams was on the bill, and they was saying that he went off on Steve Harvey or something like that. I wasn't at the show, but I remember that being a thing. Like that was real in real life in Detroit. It was a show and it was a bunch of people there, and I don't know where the footage was or whatever, but that absolutely did happen. But if I recall it correctly, they were saying that Steve was saying that it wasn't supposed to be a battle. It was just supposed to be like some kind of way that they marketed or something like that. And then Katt Williams took it that way, and he went in on Steve Harvey when that wasn't supposed to be the thing in the first place. So the way that they was painting it was that it was a misunderstanding on Steve's part, that it was supposed to be we going off on each other. They were supposed to just see who could tell the best jokes, but it wasn't supposed to be a thing to where they're going at each other. That's the way that it was being painted back when it happened back then. But I remember that. I remember that. Yep, I remembered that. And so Steve was kind of like, yo, I got blindsided. I didn't know I was supposed to be going at him. And then Katt Williams was over there going off on Steve and absolutely roasting him, like roasting him. So that is true. He is right about that. That did happen in Detroit. I remember that. Was that New Year's Eve?
Imagine him coming to tell you another story where he got so big and it was Bernie and them's fault because they wanted to be movie stars. What? You called Ocean 11 to get that nigga's part. What do you mean you didn't want to be a movie star? So on the behalf of Bernie, I would have to say what I have to say.
Have you ever been on tour with any of these guys?
Every guy I mentioned to you is not funny out there in real life. So no. Faison's never done his own tour in 30 years. Steve Harvey don't do stand-up no more. Cedric doesn't write. I'm sorry, he doesn't write. Ricky Smiley has been playing the same old black woman forever. Like, you can't get a young fan base with that. Like, you gotta be doing karaoke around the country to make that work.
Right.
And he is. But I'm a stand-up comedian. This is my 19th 100-city tour. I'm not gonna have a conversation with these lazy bums that'll take a shortcut at any point. Yes, it's easier for you to juice than to get in the gym, but you don't get to bring that body in here talking crazy.
Talk about how good.
Jay Ben says Kevin was popping off on the Breakfast Club. All right, I'm going to have to go back and look at that. Thank God for the internet, because we can go back and track all of this stuff and see what really happened. Carl Oakley, shout out to you for the 20 ball, says, I think what he's saying in summary is that all of these comedians and people kiss the ring and are following a script by their handlers. Kevin Hart wore a dress when he specifically said he wouldn't, and he blew up after that. What did Kevin Hart wear a dress in? I don't remember Kevin Hart wearing a dress. Let me see. Kevin Hart dress. Oh, snaps. Is this a Saturday Night Live? Oh, no. I ain't never seen this before. Talking about this right here? I ain't never seen that before. Have you ever seen that? I ain't never seen that before. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. Let me finish hearing what he got to say.
Good you look.
What? No, there's too many comics out there that are putting their life on the line to tell these jokes, man.
Okay. Let's get to your upbringing. We're going to circle back and we'll get some...
I want to protect him real quick, because you had said for the Kings of Comedy, it was in 2018, 2019, but did you mean 1999? Because it came out in 2000, so I just want to make sure.
No, I didn't. No. So what I meant to say was, remember, he said I couldn't do stand-up anymore. I had 7 TV shows. I said he didn't have any of those TV shows at the time.
I know you talking about Cedric.
Joke stealing from Cedric.
Cedric.
Okay,
So you
so-
had said that
okay.
2018, 2019, but it came out in 2000, so I just want to make sure.
Okay, no. What comes out in 2000?
The original Kings of Comedy.
Right. I'm on BET's Comic View, and they're using this as the commercial in 1998.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying, yeah. So if I said the dates wrong, yeah. So
Yes. Let's go back and clear that up.
Okay.
You said
yeah.
I had Cedric on here, and I asked him about the joke stealing, and
Yeah.
he said the timeline doesn't add up.
Correct.
To that point, you say.
Right. So he thought that I was just a no-name comedian and that he could take this joke and nobody would know.
Right.
The issue was that I had already done this particular joke on BET's Comic View twice.
Right.
It had done so well on BET's Comic View that they had made it part of the commercial. So part of the commercial of make sure you tune in to BET was you seeing me doing this joke.
Right.
And this joke is one of those jokes in comedy where you set it up and it takes a little longer to set it up, takes about 3 minutes, but then you're just hitting them with jokes after that because you don't have to set it up.
Right.
Mark Curry had already helped me work on this joke because I thought it was good because I was getting a standing ovation on it. He had me go back in the lab and help me craft it to be an even more powerful joke. So this is not just a random joke. This is my very best joke, and it's my last joke, and it's my closing joke.
Okay.
1998, I'm doing this joke. It's on Comic View. Cedric comes to the Comedy Store. He watches me in the audience. He comes backstage. He tells me what a great job I did and how much he loves the joke. 2 years later, he's doing that as his last joke on the Kings of Comedy.
That's not cool. That's not cool at all. That's never cool when you're doing somebody else's joke. 40 Shorty says, yo, AD, I've been watching you for a couple months, and now I'm a bag chaser. As of today, I got to pull out the round of applause. I'm making moves in real estate. Would love some insight. All right, listen, we're going to have to tap in. I'm doing a live stream this weekend on stocks. We got Stock Club on Sunday, so I'm going to do that exclusively just for the chasers. And I'm dropping a video for the bag chasers probably on Saturday. So shout out to you. Shout out to my people out here in the chasers. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Shout out to you, big dog.
And he's doing it verbatim. He's just changed my car into a spaceship. Him and Steve had already apologized for me, so I gave him a pass for a decade. Why would you sit here and be like, I saw Katt 30 times, and Katt didn't do, as I stand before you, Shannon, I would have bust Cedric's stomach.
Oh my goodness.
Have you seen this?
No.
That's your first time hearing this?
Yes. I can't.
It's okay to be inspired by something, but it ain't okay to steal.
Still, yeah.
And you can't double down on it. Yeah, man, I was inspired by that joke. I needed something to close on or whatever. It wound up being a good joke. He said he would have busted his stomach. What up, B-Love? I appreciate you.
There was nothing that would have kept me from one of these in that patch right there. Are you kidding me? Why would you downplay me like that? Why did I give you a pass if you were just gonna lie? And so that's what I'm saying. They're all a group. Cedric, Steve, Ricky, they've been a group. Everybody knows that. They've been a lot.
I didn't think that Ricky Smiley was rocking out with them like that. I know that Dave Chappelle, I noticed he ain't mentioning Dave Chappelle, though. He not mentioning Dave Chappelle. Because Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, he ain't mentioned Chris Rock either. Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Kevin Hart, all of them, they roll together. They all supported each other and they roll together. Now, I think that Tiffany Haddish is stale. I can't even think of one female comedian that I think is funny. Not one. I can't think of one female comedian that I think is funny. Not one.
And there are these alliances in comedy, and if you stand against them, then they sometimes have a problem. But we don't let that change the content, because that's all you know me for, is that I'm quite likely to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Now, I'm reading Katt Williams won Cedric the Entertainer's and Anheuser-Busch Best Los Angeles Comic Award. Did you win that award, won Katt Williams? It's a simple yes or no. It's not a rhetorical question.
It's a question that probably should have been asked to Cedric the Entertainer.
I'm asking you. I got you here, though.
I know. I couldn't believe Cedric didn't get asked that question. You steal a dude's joke and then give him an award, and then 10 years later you don't know nothing about it. Hey, but I promise you this.
What?
If he sees me again before he sees you, he'll be talking different when you see him. That's for certain. That's the difference. That's what these comics understand, is that I'm not doing nothing for clout. I don't even recognize clout. But eventually the Lord is going to let me.
Somebody said that the truth is, it wasn't that Kevin Hart was throwing shots at him. It was that he was upset about his comments on the radio show about Tiffany Haddish. So they saying that Kevin Hart was defending Tiffany Haddish, not necessarily going at Katt Williams. See, I'm glad that I got objective people that's on both sides in the chat, because what it'll do is it'll add context, and I can't just be spinned. You can't just give me a narrative. I'm going to look at the whole truth, and then I'm going to make an informed decision. So Kevin Hart wasn't throwing shots. Kevin Hart was defending Tiffany Haddish, which I think Tiffany Haddish is corny. But the additional context makes the story completely different. I wish y'all would just be more objective and learn to think for yourself.
Me and you be in one hallway. A lot of these dudes go. Kevin Hart done went 25 years without ever being in the same building with me at the same time.
If I
be
go
in
in
the
the same
building,
building
he
with
walk
you?
out. You've never seen us in the same building ever in 25 years. Like, it's like that. Why? Why?
Yes,
Because
why?
I'm really the product. It's not what you think. I am never under the influence of anything. I'm always in my right mind. I'm always a physical specimen. And when you see me, I'm much, much bigger than you had thought. I have far less play in me than you would like. And I'm relentless. I'm out there. I'm still, to this day, I play 11 games of basketball with a 20-year-old. The record is 92-6. This is just in the yard, just to the rack, just because.
You work out, Cat? You work out, Cat?
Not to the gym.
You don't work out in the gym? You do push-ups, sit-ups?
My whole life it was just push-ups and sit-ups only. I would do like 100 push-ups a day. Just.
I thought you were going to say 1,000.
No. Because this is literally every day.
Right.
This is not for the gram. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like literally 100 a day. And I would do push-ups, and then I tore both my rotator cuffs. And so it was only thanks to golf that I was even able to get my
You a golfer now?
back. I've been a golfer for quite some time. My short game is impeccable. I can't get you but 2 and some change off of the
tee.
Off the tee, but I'm still coming in for par guaranteed.
Are you playing for the tips?
No. I've found that you don't get anything for that. It seems very egomaniacal. They go, hey.
I know we're joking, we're having a great conversation, but you did win the award. How did the award help your career? It had to help something, Cat.
Nope.
God, come on, Cat.
I didn't remember it happened till you just said it. How can Cedric give you an award that was worth something?
Jeez.
Everything Cedric and Ricky Smiley ever been in got canceled for not being funny. Ricky sat here and told you that they cut him out of every movie he did. They always had a reason. Like,
I'm not It's hard for me to just be laughing at people that's a comedian. I also understand that it's a very hard industry to get in. I would love to try it just to get laughed off the stage or to get booed and see what it's like to actually live in the shoes of a stand-up comedian because I know how difficult it is to probably to work the crowd, be funny, all of that stuff, and then get to the top of your thing. But there's certain comedians that just don't do nothing for me. Tiffany Haddish, nope. Um, Monique, all she do is get up there and cuss and say baby a lot. Ricky Smiley, he has said a couple jokes that I thought that was funny. But for the most part, I don't think that Ricky Smiley is funny. D.L. Hughley was funny when he would go in the crowd and cap on people. Um, it's only a few people that could really get it, like Katt Williams, Dave Chappelle. I love Kevin Hart's stand-up specials. Those mugs be funny. Laugh at My Pain, and there was another one that was it. It was hilarious, and I was on the floor when he was talking about his son, and his son was wearing corduroys and all of that. That junk was hilarious. Um, Even Chris Rock, like some of it is funny, but a lot of it is just like, you know what I'm saying? It don't do nothing for me. So I got a different type of personality and sense of humor. Just because you vulgar don't necessarily mean that it's hilarious. I think that Tommy Davidson was incredible for Shaq's All-Star Comedy Jam. D. Ray Davis was really, really funny, especially when I seen some clips of when he was going at a lesbian that was in the crowd and stuff. So it's a lot of stuff that I just don't think is funny, and it's a lot of stuff that I do think is funny. But I got a different type of personality.
That's why I'm funny, because I'm a happy person. I laugh all day long. I can't even imagine the misery of these bums. Just to not be good at what you do, not work hard at what you do, but have to act like you the best at what you do. It is crazy. It's crazy.
But they be touring, they be doing like 100 shows a year.
That's me.
I don't know how anybody can say that Kevin Hart is not funny when the dude has some of the funniest specials that I've ever seen in my life. I just think that people be hating on Kev. I just genuinely do. I think that people hate on Kev.
I don't run into none of them. That's what I'm saying. If you a Faison Love fan, you mean you've been a fan of him for 32 years, you still waiting on him to do his first special?
Faison Love is stale. Faison Love is stale on podcasts. Faison Love can't tell a funny joke to save his life, bro. I can't even think of a funny joke that Faison Love ever told. I personally cannot think of a funny joke that Faison Love ever told. And he be talking so much junk about people. I don't know what Katt got against Faison.
You mean to tell me if Steve Harvey, your favorite comedian, you mean you've been waiting for him to do stand-up for 15 years now?
I mean, Steve got a lot of other
DL's still out there. None of those irons matter to stand-up. Who cares that they wrote a placard for you to do Family Feud on? Like, you're successful because we're surprised you can talk for a living and it's entertaining that you're gonna say some funny country things. But not a writer.
Right.
Not a writer.
When you got into stand-up, was crossing over, was doing TV, was doing movie, was that a part of it? You're like, okay, I'm doing stand-up. Okay, the next progression is TV movies.
Throughout the history of stand-up, sir. That's the goal for all of us. That's how it goes. That's why when you hear these dudes talking about, oh, I didn't want to be a movie star, you just know it's disingenuous. Like, what are you talking about, dude? Yeah, oh, no, I just wanted to do a game show.
Right.
What? Are you sure?
I think that Steve wanted to get rich. And I don't blame him for that. I think that Steve Harvey is a simp. I think that Steve Harvey also understands his range, but I think that Steve Harvey wanted to get rich. I don't think he was just doing it for the love. I think he was doing it for the money, which I can't blame him for.
Are you sure? Because I thought you did Mark Curry's show over after he had just done hanging with Mr. Cooper. Why would you do all of that man's stuff that he did on his show on yours and then do the dude's stand-up? when you go on the road. And then you never put Mark Curry on your show or nothing. Like, if you don't say anything, these dudes will run over you. I don't know if you know how bullies operate.
I
but
do.
If you don't stand up for yourself, there really is nothing they won't do.
Right. Do you consider yourself a king of comedy? Where does Katt?
No, they consider that.
Oh, that.
Like when after Bernie left, them same three guys I'm telling you about, the Kings.
Yeah.
Right? Because DL is the greatest.
Yeah.
There's no DL slander gets tolerated. But they came to me. I was supposed to be the fourth king. I got the offer.
Then what happened?
But I turned it down.
Why?
Because you shit on Bernie. And I know the truth. You think I'm gonna let you shit on Bernie and then come get me? I'm the next king? Fuck you. Why? Because the whole time Bernie was here, you was acting like you was funnier than him. The reason you was supposed to go last is because it was your tour. Tell the truth. It was Steve's tour. Not it was gonna be called the Kings of Comedy, it was Steve's tour. These are the guys opening for him. Of course you gotta close if it's your tour. That's why it was such a big deal. But you couldn't do it, because you can't beat the best. And until you humble yourself, you will forever be kinged by the king.
That's true. Wasn't nobody on that tour bigger than Bernie Mac. And everybody, I remember my older cousin, it was a girl. And she was like, oh my God, Bernie Mac is coming on TV tonight and stuff like that. This was before the Kings of Comedy. This is the first time I ever discovered who Bernie Mac was. I'm like, who Bernie Mac? And that dude was hilarious. And the cream is going to rise to the top. The cream is going to rise to the top. In whatever respective field that you in, eventually the king is going to rise to the top. That is a fact. Now, I'm absolutely agree. It's some stuff I disagree with him on, and it's a lot of things that I agree with him on. And the fact of the matter is, I feel as a content creator, for example, as an interviewer, as any of that stuff, I feel absolutely positively in my comfort zone going against anybody as a content creator, debating points, talking about. There's certain people. I understand exactly what Katt Williams is saying, because there's platforms that know that I am the best in this space, especially when it comes to talking about finances and talking about relationships. But they will invite everybody else around me onto their platforms. Not that I would go on their platforms, but they invite everybody else around me on their platforms, and they talk all around me. They write me in their books. They have them all on these platforms. They invite some content creators that ain't even remotely in my league, not even numbers wise, none of that. I did over 100 million views last year, and I'm going to double that this year. I'm going to do 250 million views just on my platforms alone, and they will not invite me onto the platforms. They know who I am. They know my name. They know all of that, but they will not invite me onto the platforms at all. It's just the way that it is. And it's because I believe that it's because I am the show. And where I go, I take the people with me. And I will show up every single person that is on that screen, especially on a live stream. Because on a live stream, you can't edit it out. See, if you just do a pre-record, what I put inside of my contract is that you got to release the whole thing in its entirety. So no matter what it is, if I do an interview or if I go on a platform, if it's pre-recorded, you got to put out the whole thing. No edits, no skips, no cuts, right? But on the live stream, you can't be controlled. See, they could choose not to put out the pre-record, but on a live stream, you can't stop it. You can't stop it. Like, you gonna get embarrassed, and you know you're gonna get embarrassed. I'm gonna shut you down. I'm gonna absolutely destroy you in every way, shape, and form. And so they make sure that they don't. Why would I be mad? I make more money than everybody on this bitch. Why would I be mad? Nobody get more money than me. Unless you MKBHD or whatever his name is, Marquise Brownlee, or unless you Mr. Beast, or unless you one of these huge streamers. As far as that's in this space, ain't nobody getting no more money than me. Ain't nobody getting the bag bigger than me. Not on in any way, shape, or form. They not getting more money than me. Nobody. So why would I would never be mad. I'm cool. I'm with it. I'm cool. I would never be mad. I'm with it. It just is what it is. That's the game. And so you can't out king the king. Because when I come and when I show up, I'm shutting everything down. That's just the facts.
And because you finally did it, because you didn't have no other choice, and now that he gone, you gonna act like he wanted to be a movie star. You stop it. You stop it. That man was funnier than all of y'all, and y'all thought y'all had one over on him. You thought he was black and ugly, and you were good looking, and he couldn't make it because you did. And that ain't the way comedy works. The king is the funniest. Period. Every time. And that's why no audience member was ever swayed. It didn't matter where Bernie went. You think if Bernie went first, he wasn't the king? Get out of here.
At the time, Bernie Mac was the king. He was absolutely the king. You didn't really have Dave Chappelle on the scene like that at that time. I wouldn't even want to go on tour with, if I'm a comedian, I wouldn't want to go on tour with Katt Williams because Katt Williams is too good. Like, you can't really come after Katt Williams. You kind of got to come before him. I wouldn't want to go on tour with Katt Williams.
Get out of here. Get your ego out of this.